Today we're diving into the art of lying. Knowing how to lie can be a life skill for those tricky situations, but remember, lying isn't something you should take lightly. We're not condoning dishonesty, we're giving you tools for social survival. Get ready to have your mind blown as we break down the art of lying into 14 foolproof steps. Let's do this. All right, let's kick things off with the first rule of lying. Always try to bend the truth, not break it. This means you should aim to stay as close to the truth as possible while still altering the narrative to suit your needs. Instead of concocting an elaborate story, start with a kernel of truth and build from there. This approach makes your lie more believable and easier to remember. For example, if you're late for work, say, "Hey, I'm so sorry I'm late. My alarm didn't go off and I overslept." This explanation is simple, relatable, and contains a grain of truth. By grounding your lie in reality, you're making it 10 times more believable. People are more likely to accept a story that feels real and plausible. People are more likely to swallow a half-truth than a complete fabrication. A half-truth feels more genuine and less like a deception. Sprinkle in a few specific details to add weight to your story. These details make your lie more convincing and harder to dispute. The more specific you are, the less likely people are to question you. Specificity adds a layer of authenticity that can make your story seem more credible and trustworthy. Okay, so you've mastered bending the truth, but that's just the first step. Now let's talk about believability. Keep it real. The key is to make your lie as close to the truth as possible. Ask yourself, would I believe this if someone else told me? If the answer is no, then it's time to rethink your approach. Your lie needs to be something that could actually happen. Keep it relatable and grounded in reality. The more your lie resonates with the other person's experiences, the more likely they are to buy it. Think about their background and what they might find plausible. For example, if you're trying to excuse yourself from a boring event, say you have a family commitment. It's a common scenario that most people can understand. Everyone can relate to family obligations. It's a universal experience that adds credibility to your story. Remember, a believable lie is like a good magic trick. It requires skill and practice. It's all about creating an illusion, a seamless blend of truth and fiction. The more natural it feels, the more convincing it will be. You can't just wing a lie, especially if you're new to the game. Think of it like preparing for a big game or a major presentation. Rehearse your lie, but don't overdo it. You don't want to sound like you're reciting lines. The key is to sound natural, conversational. Pay attention to your pacing and tone of voice. Keep your voice steady and controlled. The more you practice, the more natural and believable your lie will sound. One of the biggest mistakes amateur liars make is dragging other people into their web of deception. The more people involved in your lie, the greater the chance of getting caught. Plus, you're putting the other person in an incredibly awkward position. If the lie is exposed, guess who takes the fall? Yep, it's you and everyone else you dragged into it. So here's the golden rule. Keep your lies to yourself. Remember, lying is a one-person game. When it comes to crafting the perfect lie, brevity is your best friend. The longer and more elaborate your lie, the harder it is to keep your story straight. A short, concise lie is much easier to maintain than a rambling, convoluted one. Stick to the main points and avoid unnecessary details. The more information you throw out there, the greater the chance you'll slip up and contradict yourself. Remember, you're not writing a novel here. You're trying to pull off a convincing fib, so keep it short and sweet. Let's talk about the secret sauce of lying confidence. If you don't believe your own lie, no one else will. When you're telling the truth, you're naturally more confident and assertive. The same goes for lying. You need to project an aura of confidence. Stand tall, make eye contact, and speak with authority. Don't fidget, avoid eye contact, or mumble your words. Remember, confidence is contagious. If you believe your own lie, others are more likely to follow suit. Get ready for some next-level lying techniques. Ever heard of the inhibitory spillover effect? When you're holding back one bodily function, like your bladder, it makes it easier to control other impulses, like lying. This heightened state of self-control can actually help you lie more convincingly. If you find yourself in a situation where you need to stretch the truth, try this little trick. It might just give you that extra edge you need to pull it off.
Speak on a full bladder. Telling the truth is natural, but telling a lie requires you to control your natural urge and access your inhibitory control. When you have to use the bathroom, you are activating inhibitory control to not use the bathroom on yourself. Practicing self-control in one area makes it easier for you to control your urge to tell the truth. You will be a more convincing liar if you lie with a full bladder. Drink a lot of water 45 minutes before you plan to tell your lie. This will only work if you have to pee while you are telling the lie. Practicing self-control earlier in the day will not help you when it is time to tell your lie.
Let's talk about non-verbal communication, the silent language that can make or break your lie. When people lie, they tend to get fidgety. They touch their face, scratch their nose, or play with their hair. The key is to maintain natural, relaxed body language. Avoid crossing your arms, which can make you appear closed off or defensive. Instead, keep your arms at your sides or use them to gesture naturally as you speak. Mirroring the other person's body language can also create a sense of rapport and trust. It's a sneaky way of building subconscious rapport and making your lie more believable. Your face is a dead giveaway when it comes to lying. We're talking about those micro-expressions, those fleeting facial expressions that betray your true emotions. When we lie, our brains struggle to control these micro-expressions. For a split second, a flicker of guilt, fear, or excitement might flash across our face. Practice controlling your facial expressions. Look in the mirror and try to maintain a neutral expression while telling your lie. Pay attention to any involuntary movements like raised eyebrows. Pay attention to any involuntary movements like a twitching lip. It's all about maintaining that poker face. This next tip is for those high-stakes lies, the ones you absolutely cannot afford to screw up. These are the lies where the stakes are so high that even the smallest mistake could have serious consequences. We're talking about creating a paper trail, a record of your deception. This isn't just any record, it's a detailed account that will help you keep track of every aspect of your lie. When you tell a lie, especially a complicated one, it's easy to get your facts mixed up. The more intricate the lie, the more likely you are to forget key details or contradict yourself. Jot down the key details of your lie: who, what, when, where, and why. Make sure you include every relevant piece of information, no matter how small it may seem. This will help you keep your story straight and avoid any inconsistencies. By having a written record, you can refer back to it whenever you need to refresh your memory. Make sure you keep your notes hidden away, somewhere safe where no one else will find them. The last thing you want is for someone to stumble upon your notes and expose your lie. The last thing you want is for your carefully crafted lie to unravel because you left your incriminating notes lying around. Always be cautious about where you store your notes. Think of it like your liar's insurance policy. By keeping detailed notes and storing them securely, you can ensure that your lie remains intact and undiscovered. Every good liar knows that covering your tracks is essential for maintaining your facade of honesty. We're talking about eliminating any evidence that could expose your lie. Delete text messages, clear your browser history, and scrub your social media accounts of any incriminating posts or photos. If you're dealing with a physical object like a misplaced item, make sure you dispose of it properly. The more thorough you are in covering your tracks, the less likely it is that your lie will be exposed. It's all about being one step ahead. Anticipate any potential threats to your carefully constructed web of deception. One of the biggest mistakes liars make is getting greedy. They tell one lie, then another and another until they've created a tangled web of deceit. The more lies you tell, the harder it is to remember them all and keep your story straight. So here's the deal. Once you've told a lie, stick to it. Don't try to embellish it or invent new lies to cover up the original one. The simpler you keep it, the better. Lying should be a last resort, not a way of life. If you find yourself constantly resorting to lies, it's time to reassess your situation.
Avoid telling other lies. Lying requires you to have a good memory. The more lies you tell, the harder it will be to keep up with them. If your brain is required to keep up with multiple lies, you may end up telling on yourself. To cut down on the number of lies you tell, do not lie to multiple people. Over time, it will be easier for you to remember the lie you told.
This next tip is all about effective damage control. If you've told a lie and need to tell another to cover up the first one, navigate with extreme caution and care. Avoid contradicting your previous lies at all costs. Make sure your new lie aligns perfectly with the information you've already shared. Think several moves ahead, anticipating any potential challenges or tricky questions. One wrong move could expose your entire web of deception and lies. Sometimes the best course of action is to simply cut your losses and come clean. Knowing when to abandon a lie is just as important as knowing how to tell one. If your lie is about to be exposed, it's time to fess up. Admitting your mistake might be painful in the short term, but it's always better than getting caught in a web of deceit. People are more likely to forgive an honest mistake than a deliberate act of deception. Trust your gut and face the music if your lie is about to crumble. And there you have it, 14 ways to become a master liar. Remember, lying is a powerful tool, but it should be used sparingly and responsibly. The best policy is always honesty, but if you need to stretch the truth, these tips can help. Trust is fragile, and once it's broken, it can be incredibly difficult to rebuild. Use this information wisely, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more mind-blowing content.